Every time I get an incoming call, it doesn't knock me out from my live stream, but it froze it up, and I had no idea what else to do than end that last live stream and start anew. So hopefully you guys will join back. All right, continuing walking around downtown Portland. Expressions against oppression. Support artists, supplies, and funding. Venmo, here you go. Hey guys, thanks for joining back in. My tea's grounded for a week. Yeah, I think so. So I speak a little bit of Polish. Tak. Ja mówię po polsku. I speak a little bit Visayan, which is my mom's dialect from the area of the Visayas, which is the southern part of the Philippines, the Visayan Islands, which includes the island of Mindanao. So my family is from Mindanao, and a little bit of Tagalog, which is the national language for the Philippines. Very little actually Tagalog, so just phrases. I mean, I have traveled a lot around Southeast Asia, so I've picked up just like phrases out and about. Ironically, what I speak the most of, that I'm most conversational, is je parle français un peu. J'étudie français dans secondaire école pour 5 ans. Ouais. But for French, all you gotta say is oui, oui, croissant. Is there you go. You speak French. We're back at the other side of the Apple store. Actually, let's walk down this way. Cartier. Oh, here's another courthouse. Let's walk in front of that. This is the Pioneer Courthouse. Oh, look, we got Christmas decorations on top of the boarded out windows. Oh, I spotted Ben and Jerry's over there. Ben and Jerry's appropriately closed out as well. I know, you're absolutely right. I should be wearing protective gear when I'm out and about. I guess more for like the nighttime activities though. I bought goggles though. One of my friends, she's like, here, let me pepper spray you and mace you. So that way you know how it feels. And she's like, what, you're not afraid of being maced? And I'm like, no, of course not. And she's like, all right, I'm just gonna mace you so you know how it feels and you can be afraid. I'm like, I don't think it's actually gonna cause me to be afraid. just maybe experience some physical pain and discomfort, but I don't think it's going to do anything to my head. My brother, when I saw him a couple of days ago, my younger brother, my older brother's totally, completely libtard, conditioned sheep. Younger one, he expresses himself saying, you know, I might not agree with all your politics, but I support you. And then so when his girlfriend's from the DC area, and he's like, she keeps saying you're gonna die around there, and he's like, are you afraid whenever you like encounter these people? And I just look at him like blankly, and he's like, nope, my sister's a total psycho. I don't think I am. So this area is not boarded up, so that's not bad. I'm starting to walk away, I guess, from like the central area of downtown. So this part actually looks pretty normal. Let's see if there's any graffiti or boarded up. Oh, well, I spot some graffiti. I would say the most prevalent graffiti I'm seeing is this ACAB, all cops are bastards. So a lot of, you know, fuck the police action in here. I mean, from what I saw from the riot footage from New Year's Eve and into yesterday was, you know, it looked like the police had to back down in areas because they were like outnumbered. But yeah, I'm still surprised that Ted Wheeler, better late than never, comes out and actually like calls Antifa out for what it is, saying that they're responsible for the domestic terrorism. All right, where did I turn off? It's fun that you guys come and join me for this little journey. Just a little walking tour. No, sorry. Just somebody asking for money. I was just kidding about things being not boarded up in this area, by the way. Because things are. Where am I? Southwest 6th Avenue. Southwest 6th Avenue. Oh, let's go check out these murals in front of Payless. I didn't know we even still had Paylesses around here. Mike T, are you depressed that you live in the basement of your mom's home? Over in Portland? All right, should we head towards back to the courthouse area? Back or this way? Let's go this way. This is the light rail, Max. That area looks like more of a shithole. Let's go that way. So when I started calling places like shitholes, my mom's from the Philippines, so that's a shithole country as well. Don't get me wrong, there's the people are lovely and beautiful. I've been growing up going to the Philippines like almost every year. I lived there for 4 months last year straight. And when I say shithole, it's just because the amount of poverty and, you know, slums, like literally you gotta, you know, have to like walk over poverty. When you gotta do that for these areas that are just so disgusting. I mean, that is what a shithole is. And so like I said to my mom, I was like, oh Mom, you're shithole country. And then she goes, she was upset how, you know, I have a lot of family that has immigrated from the Philippines. They go through the legal process of coming to the country. And that's why I'm a big proponent of legally coming into the country, because we all have to abide by the laws that are in place. And so when people are like, oh, it was easier to come into America, like back in the day when your family immigrated, I'm like, my sister just got her citizenship confirmed, like just before she could vote, which I was hoping she was leaning towards Trump, but I think she went for Biden. But yeah, she just got her citizenship confirmed too. And my cousins also, like the last year or the year before. It's a long process, but people are going through the legal process. My family all comes through the legal process. So when people are skipping out of going through the legal process, it makes it more challenging and difficult for people who are going the law-abiding way of immigrating into the U.S. Like it makes it more difficult for them. And I get like, yes, that's America is exceptional. Why else would we have so many people that are trying to get into this country if it wasn't exceptional? So back to my original point about a shithole country. And so my mom was like super offended by me calling the Philippines a shithole country. But I'm just referring to the amount of poverty that's there. And of course, Trump called Haiti a shithole country, which after, you know, the Clinton Foundation raised all that money for Haiti, and where did it go? Building like luxury skylines. How many houses did they end up rebuilding from the Clinton Foundation in Haiti? Yeah, Haiti, shithole country. Philippines, shithole country. And then so when so she's upset about like how you know it does take a long time for people from the Philippines to immigrate in, but when you're coming from a shithole country trying to get to America, yes, it's going to be a long process because there's a lot of people from that shithole country trying to get in. And then she goes, oh, but Poland's a shithole country. And then my dad looks up and I'm like, actually, Mother, Poland is the 8th largest GDP in Europe. People are actually immigrating to Poland because of how it is, you know, how fast actually, you know, it was a Soviet country just until the 80s. Like how fast it has risen to being huge, and having a place in European economics. Is the 8th largest GDP, and people are actually immigrating into Poland. I had my Polish citizenship confirmed last year. Yeah, last year or the year before, but I am actually a Polish citizen. So it's funny when everyone's like, oh, when they see my channel, Polish American Brotherhood, they're like, okay, I just see an Asian girl. And I'm like, yeah, Asian girl, but Polish girl too, so. But actually, I am a Polish citizen. Polish pride. Yeah, we gotta fight against Russia. They are not taking Poland back. So actually, as I've learned more of the history of Poland, that's what has made me to become even more like proud and as outspoken as I've become in the last several months, because, you know, I just jumped into this online YouTuber or social media scene really in the last 2 months. But a lot of that stems from just learning when I started the channel Polish American Brotherhood, which was my father's brainchild. It was focused on history. So if you look at my earliest videos, it's like top 10 things to see in Poland, or top 10 things about Tadeusz Kościuszko. And so it was my own history lesson of learning about Polish history and its role in America. And I'm like, wow, Polish people have gone through so much through history. And and is placed in America to really the Revolutionary War, like maybe like America probably wouldn't have won if it wasn't for the Polish contribution during the Revolutionary War. Poland brought the cavalry. America had the guns and the ammunition, but Poland really brought the heart and the spirit. So you had immigrants that were fighting for America's revolution. But you know, when you look at the history of Poland, Poland has disappeared off the map several times in history and has always come fighting back. And so that's the importance of knowing your history. So when I see like here in America, when they're stripping down the statues and they're trying to make you not proud to be an American, like making you feel ashamed, because like that's the first step in like trying to, you know, if you take away people's pride, when you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. So that is like the first step when they started attacking history. And so that was like the first trend that you know, that I didn't know what it was, what I was looking at when I first saw it, but I just felt it in my insides. It clashed, like this is wrong. Like I wasn't thinking the way that people were thinking around me. And I guess that's what kind of got me into trouble with all my liberal friends. And you know, I guess like the vast majority of them are, because I definitely see who my friends are now. And it was pretty thin at one point, but now as I've, you know, started to go to DC and go to other places and connect with other like-minded individuals and other patriots, I didn't even know that it was like, I was always proud to be an American, but the concept of like patriotism really has taken on a whole new meaning in my life. And even my dad was saying, he's like, you know, as an immigrant into the country, like you feel so proud to have made it here, and so proud to be an American because it affords you a livelihood that you don't get in other parts of the world. And so he's like, the Democrats are just teaching you to hate this country. And then, you know, as I'm like just simply just walking around a Democrat-run city, I mean, like, the hell, this looks like looks worse sometimes than what I see when I travel to like dirt poor countries in Asia. I've been to Cambodia, I've been to the Philippines and Thailand. And the definitely the poorest countries that I've seen on firsthand is Cambodia and the Philippines. I can tell. You couldn't even tell that place is open, but there's a sign that says it's open. Chechnya, yes. Let's walk over this way. All right, Breonna Taylor. Okay, so the official police report that came out that went to like a grand jury about the Breonna Taylor case had it actually had come out that she was not in her bed, you know, sleeping when she was killed. She was actually in the hallway. I don't know if you guys had heard this stuff, but she was in the hallway. She was with her boyfriend, who first, he's the one who shot first at the police, and the police were returning fire to him. And he's the one who actually got her killed. And the whole concept of like the no-knock, Breonna was dealing drugs. She was part of it. Like she wasn't an innocent bystander as it was portrayed in the narrative that the media wanted you to believe, to catch on with the whole BLM movement. She was participating in the drug deals. Her place was being used for it. She was not asleep in her bed. She was in the hallway, and her boyfriend shot first. This is actually kind of cute. Do you guys know the story of the lucky cat? Find Portland Andy. There's a Portland Andy around here. Yeah, I do need to connect with more. I do need to make a connection with more like YouTubers or other streamers or, you know, other people who are out and about. It's always good to grow a network. But all right, I'll tell you a quick little story about this Chinese character. Actually, so it was like a prince. He had seen a cat across the roadway, and then with seeing the cat, it had warned him like not to cross the street or something. And then I'm gonna have to totally look up the story, tell you guys to look up the story. But basically, in seeing the image of the cat, it saved his life. And then afterwards, he built a shrine where that cat had shown up. And then because the cat like waved at him like that, that's why you always see the cat going like this in lucky Chinese symbols or iconography. But basically, the cat had warned him not to like cross the street. And oh, there's a cute little doggy right there. Sorry, I see a dog and I'm just like, that one right there. I'm very much like from that Disney Up. I'm like, squirrel. I love you, squirrel. But yeah, so that's the story of the cat. The imagery of the cat. It's a lucky cat, so it's a good luck charm, and it's a safety charm. So when you see the cat like it goes like this because the cat was waving to warn the prince not to come into this area, not to cross the street, and therefore had saved his life. Build a shrine to that dog. I know. I like cute little dogs. My favorite dog's a husky, and I also love pit bulls. But I am fond of little fake rat thing dogs, like the kind that you hold in your hand. They fit perfectly in your purse and you can hide them. Yeah, I like those too. See if there's anything else interesting around these parts. Let's walk down that way. I'm gonna try and find some coffee. I know I just had my Starbucks a little while ago, but some coffee. Will I be what was that? Will I be live streaming from DC? Yeah, betcha. I'll get used to doing some more live streams. Actually, I remember the first time I came into DC was I came in for the walk. It was a walkway march that Brandon Stark was doing. And so that was at the beginning of October. And so I ended up staying through the elections. And the first time I was walking around DC and I just saw all the graffiti around, and then like the signs that were, like an Uber sign that said like, oh, we support Black Lives Matter. If if you're racist, don't use Uber. And I'm like, what? It's just the way things are presented. It doesn't, it twists things, is what I'm saying. Racism is bad. Of course it is. But it's being tossed onto issues that are not racist. And so that leads to a desensitization of racism. That's the part that's like totally like unfortunate, because, at this point I've been called a racist, a Nazi, like all the above, that I'm just like, whatever. Because being called a racist or a fascist in today's society is like one of the like worst things that you can be labeled as. People are they try to cancel you and go after your jobs and like over just these kind of accusations, which people are judging based on some out of context like remark that is not of a person's like character. To judge a person's character, you need to, when you're for vices, to judge if something is a vice or a virtue of a person, it's established not in the words that you use, because words are cheap, y'all. Words are very cheap. So it's in the action of people, and in that, it's even the repeated action. So when we're judging people by some singular one dimension, their social media is what you choose to present to the world. It's not your real life by any means, but it's the image that you choose to present out into the world. I walked by here last night. I recognized some weird statue that's over there. Let's go look at it. But so that's my issue with like this whole like cancel culture and everything, because we're, you know, clipping scenes of people who are maybe at their worst moment or whatever, or something that's outside of their character or anything, and then using that to ruin people's lives. Like, I put together that little what's it called, doxing video, just because like Antifa put me in their little thing, but really there isn't anything to dox about me, so it was more of a joke. And another like F you like that to them. But you know, there are people that like this doxing culture in action ruins their lives. Like, they ain't gonna do that to me because there isn't anything, but it ruins people's lives. And it's, you know, it's all a sense of like control, trying to get you to stay in line with the words you're using, because people are not even judging based on the actions of people, but just sheer words. Okay, so here's this weird statue. I have no idea what this is. If there's any local Portland people who can describe to me what this thing is, I'll look it up later. But the sword of truth is on your side. I wish we could have like King Arthur and just like pull out the sword in the stone. That's a dude with new bottom surgery. Demons are here. United States National Bank. The demons have entered the earth. That's for sure. Okay, we got a couple murals that are painted over the buildings over here that don't look like graffiti. Well, this one is. But over there you can see in a distance there's a larger one. Let's go take a look. From the heart of the street. Whose streets? Our streets. You guys gotta admit, the Proud Boys have the best chance ever. Whose streets? Our streets. And probably the reason my channel's not monetizing now is because my favorite phrase is fuck Antifa, fuck Antifa. Huh? Oh, the Who streets? Is your all right, well, we took it and owned it, so Whose streets? Our streets. I'm not Antifa and I'm taking it. So exactly, Proud Boys rock it. That's the thing. If you want to disarm and like take away the power from somebody, is take it back. Like if Whose streets? Our streets is a Antifa saying, well, joke's on them, it's ours now. Whose streets? Our streets. Fuck Antifa. Yeah, Whose streets? Our streets. It's way more fitting anyways with the Proud Boys and with the Patriots. That's so true. Antifa can't even pull up their pants, much less build a street. Antifa's about destroying communities. They don't build anything. So last night when I was walking around at like, even when I was walking around like 8 o'clock, it still like was a zombie apocalypse, because like the first intro to that I had to the city really was like all the graffiti around. There's nobody around except for me and the homeless people. Kind of my first impression of DC. But here it definitely looks a lot worse. No, sorry. So here, when I'm seeing graffiti, I'm seeing less on the like the fuck police or yeah, Wheeler has definitely let the city be destroyed. Months and months of rioting, almost daily. And of course, the one day I fly in for it, there's no rioting. But okay, so over here, as I'm walking towards the graffiti that I see on this side, it's less of the like fuck the police or ACAB. So maybe this is just like regular graffiti. Oh, that's a lie. I see BLM over there. Just kidding. Oh, this is Old Town. Gotcha. I'm like, Dorothy, I'm not in Kansas anymore, am I? Oh, not Dorothy. Auntie M, I'm not in Kansas anymore. So this area is like Old Town, Chinatown. I think I saw that on a map. Yes, I will be in DC this week. I'm taking the red eye, so I'll be there by tomorrow morning. Oh, I see like the Chinatown archway. Let's go to that. I know it's not an archway, but I don't know the word for it. Boarded up gas stations. Exactly. God bless the Proud Boys. Chinatown. This one's pretty nice. Actually, I think the one that's in DC is quite a large one. It's one of the nicest ones that I've seen in the US. I've been to a lot of Chinatowns all over the world. Another nice one was in Malaysia. So Malaysia has population is Malay, Indian, and Chinese, but they also have like really nice Chinatowns in Kuala Lumpur. Man, I should have got into streaming when I was backpacking the world. So I came back the day before they announced COVID as a pandemic. I came back to the US on March 12th. Before that, I was abroad for most of the past 2 years. So I left corporate life in 2017 and just traveled. In 2019, I hit 25 countries. I was supposed to continue traveling and vagabonding around the world, but COVID hit, stayed put in the US, and now I'm just gonna be vagabonding around the US and showing you guys America's shitholes instead. Let's see. Show Philadelphia? All right. Yeah, I'll head over to Philly afterwards. I am going to go, plan is I'm going to be in DC. After DC, I'm going to head over to New York. There's going to be a march that is being organized in DC, in New York on January 10. So I am going to be going there for that. I mean, for the most part, you guys will see me in DC and in New York, but branching out to cover other cities, I decided Friday night to pop into Portland. Yeah, I kind of decided like at midnight on Friday night. I was like, I'm going to go to Portland for the weekend. And then hopped on a flight at 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning. This is Embassy Suites? Oh my God. Yeah, I heard about Nancy Pelosi's house. They were giving her a new paint job in the front. With a pig's head, right? This is what Embassy Suites looks like. Wow. I think if I had booked Embassy Suites and then got here and this was it, I'd be like, holy F. Another, I've been to Greece twice. Athens is another shithole, I'll tell you. Don't get me wrong, seeing the Parthenon is like fantastic and beautiful and everything, but when the hotels are all like quite pricey when you're staying around Athens in the center area, and it's all graffitied out as you walk. It's just the smell of piss that's everywhere. Bum piss. Oh my God, it's like putrefying. But it's just, Greece, Athens, I won't speak for the rest of Greece. The rest of Greece was very pleasant to be around. But Athens, like, get in there, see the Parthenon, and get the F out. I mean, there were a couple bars that were fantastic also. I went to 2 of the world's best bars there. But literally, it looked a lot like this. Like downtown, like the downtown area of Greece that is, or Athens that is around like the Parthenon. Like, you'll get into your nice shopping areas, but then it was like this. I haven't seen what it looks like now during like COVID times, but when did I go? I went August of, is it August? Yeah, I went August of 2019. But what I'm seeing around Portland right now with all the graffiti and, granted it's BLM crap, but the amount of graffiti and like bum piss that was around Athens, that was horrifying. That actually I switched out of staying in the nice hotels of downtown, switched into staying at an Airbnb in a nice neighborhood to get the hell away from like central Athens. All right, there's the front of Embassy Suites. It looks a little bit more cleaned up and decent. Clean yourself up, Do I think we're headed towards another civil war? I think we are in a form of a civil war right now. You see divided households. My house is divided. I'm banned from talking politics at my house. So when they say civil war, when you have brothers fighting against brothers, I mean, I have brother fighting against sister here. And that's really sad. So do I think we're headed into a civil war? I think we're going to see eruptions of violence throughout the country. I think it's going to be sad. I think it's going to be inevitable. I hope it's quick. I mean, I'm all for 1776 for my own political opinion. We can't have a stolen election. We can't. This is an issue that is not just like, it's not about being Democrat or Republican. Like, it's preserving what makes us to be American. And it doesn't matter party lines, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal. I mean, what does any of that even mean? I mean, you guys see me. I consider myself liberal, conservative. I'm a registered Democrat. I am as Trumpster as I can shout out loud and be. So in a sense, what does that like make me? I know this much. I know I'm a Trump supporter. Would I vote for a Democrat in the future? I'm going to vote for the person who's right for the job, the person who's of the right character for the job. And you can call him a Democrat or a Republican. That doesn't really matter to me, like the names of it. But like what I've seen now in my own independent research and how, Democrats, the ideology or the philosophy, or like what they're making you do is they're making you hate the country. And the thing is, like, knowing my family's like stories of how they came to America and seeing for myself what is life outside of America, how could you like to hate America is so despicable to me. And so that's what I see the Democrats to be doing now, is in order to take control, yes, weaponizing this virus, like creating all the like these useless lockdowns, even the concept of wearing a mask and everything like that. I'm like, it's all about control. When you see people flipping out about people not wearing masks, you know what the answer to, if you don't feel comfortable around a person who's not wearing a mask, the answer to that, stay 6 feet away, walk away. Stay in a different area. Don't get into the elevator with that person. You don't go up and attack them. You don't have a mental breakdown about it. Like I see, on social media, people like flipping out so much about having, it's like, oh, this person next to me is not wearing a mask, and then they just have this meltdown. I'm like, yo, there's a very simple solution to that. Walk away. just walk away. And the thing is, like, as a person looking at that person having that meltdown with about other people not wearing a mask, the conditioning is so complete with them, because if you become so triggered to have that kind of instant reaction, like the mask has done its job to you psychologically. Like even my own mother, when I was debating with her, the great mask debate was like, for me, I'm like, okay, well, what does it matter if the person believes in a mask as long as they're wearing a mask? So I was trying to, accustom to her language a little bit. And then she got so mad at me for saying, no, you have to believe. And I'm like, what, does this mask have magical powers that's going to protect you? Like, she's like, it wasn't good enough for her that a person's wearing a mask. She actually wants people to mentally believe in the powers of a mask. And then, so that's when, the psychology of it all, like, really is like transparent to me. It's about control. And like, you see, I was watching the video from Brandon from Just Another Channel, his experience on New Year's Eve, and they like got kicked out of the hotel for not wearing a mask. Like, the guy is like literally, like, Brandon's trying to walk away from him, and then the hotel employee is walking like towards him, following him, and it's just about people exerting control over other people.
I love your outfit.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's just about people trying to exert control over other people, because there are other means that are, just walk away. Well, this is the Portland you used to love, Sean Scott. Lovely, isn't it? I hope that I'm like visiting Portland now at a time that it's best, and then in the future I'll be able to fast forward and it's going to be back to being like a lovely city that I had heard it wants to be. I don't know where Morrison Street is, sorry. Let's walk over this way. Hey, no, I'm by myself. Ooh, this is Washington Center. Yeah, I didn't really, plan to be out here in Portland. It was, like I said, it was just a last minute decision. I tend to be a little bit impulsive. I guess for those who know me in real life. So I don't give too much thought when I go and do something. Just kidding. Or I'm not. But yeah, so coming out to Portland was a last minute decision. I didn't really announce it. At first I didn't want people knowing I was here because like with the riots going on and I've not... didn't really want to announce it on social media that I was here, so I wasn't originally planning on even live streaming, but I'm like, all right, I'm leaving in a couple hours, so I might as well take you guys on a tour with me throughout lovely downtown Portland. So like when I posted on my Twitter, I said, like first flight of the year, see you guys in DC. So yeah, that's a surprise, I'm in Portland. But yeah, next time I come out here, like you guys send me a message, a private message on any of my social media accounts. If anybody is around here who wants to like next time I am in town and plan things out a little bit more, it'd be great to have somebody with me who wants to do a nice little walking tour. Show me the sights. Oh yeah, that's true. I'll have to make sure I vet anybody I meet up with here, right? Wouldn't want them to be disguised Antifa. Though I did, I had my own black bloc last night. Was a weird thing. I was dressed up like I'm dressed up all in black now too. But yeah, I wore one of those little black face masks that looked like a bandana thing, and I had a little hoodie on, so I was like covered up except for my eyes, and I had goggles in my pocket in case I needed to use those. But a good Antifa is a dead one, yes. And so when I was just walking, somebody had stopped the car and it just asked me through the window, hey, do you know where the way is? And I'm like, the way? Because they didn't ask me which way. They just asked me, do you know where the way is? And it was two guys in a car, and I just like responded back saying, I'm just getting some food. But that was the only weird thing from yesterday, I guess. All right, so I'm back over at the Pioneer Place. Probably a Christian outreach. Yeah. This was about 11 o'clock last night. Granted, like, my response is I'm out getting food and there's nothing open for food at 11 o'clock, but it was just the thing that came to my mind. Well, Antifa is a bunch of like soy boys who actually have no physical power. They're children that need to really have a good ass whooping. That's why they attack those who are vulnerable, like elderly and children. They don't go for anybody who looks like they could return a punch, hence why they'll never go up to a Proud Boy. All right, we're back in the area. Yeah. All right. Morrison Street. Oh, this is Morrison Street. The old couple asked me where Morrison Street was, and I had no idea. Dude, okay, well, you know that they can slap hard and the females are nuts, so be careful. Yeah. They're probably watching the stream right now. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I know. To go to the Salem protest was on Friday, so I didn't pop over here until Saturday. So I wasn't around during the New Year's Eve riots that occurred here in Portland and Salem. So I saw the footage of that. I wasn't sure if anything was going to continue on into the weekend and everything. So basically, just giving you guys a little walking tour of the daylight around here. Impeach Kate Brown, yes. What did you say? I don't even know how to work this thing. Impeach Jay Inslee. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this live stream. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and look forward to more coverage over in DC. So I'll be heading there. I'll be heading to the airport in a couple hours. All right, signing off now, guys. Proud of your girl.